All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving our thoughts on what we think we're going to see when we see the eventual release of The Walking Dead Season 11. Alright, so a few people had asked me about this one and what I think we're going to see in The Walking Dead Season 11. So I've got the trade volumes here, and kind of an interesting revelation, which is that we're almost at the end, dudes. I know that We Got This Covered had said that they'll run out of content by the end of Season 12, but I may have to disagree with that because it might actually be sooner than 12, considering they usually do about 3 volumes per year of Walking Dead television series. And well, okay, so here's where we're at right now. We're almost there. Okay, so this is volume 29, Lines We Cross, and as you can see, the princess is on the cover with her spear and everything. So we actually have started to see some of that. Now, not all of it. Like Eugene and the others are on their journey, which is in this volume right here. So we've seen the princess appear in the Walking Dead TV series already. So we've started to see a little bit of this. Not all of it, but just the first little bit. So that's volume 29. Volume 28, which is A Certain Doom, and keep in mind there's only 32 volumes. We'll get into the last few in a minute here. Yeah, there's only 32. So volume 28, A Certain Doom, you have Negan, and he's kind of saving Rick here on the cover from a whole bunch of walkers that are in Alexandria. Now, they didn't do this with the TV series version. They more did... So this hasn't really been adapted yet. They're doing the whole tower thing, and they didn't do the same thing for Gabriel as they did in the comics around this time. They were actually in Alexandria trying to defend it as the herd crashed into it. So the TV series has taken a bit of a different approach with regards to this. And this one does contain a huge character death for Andrea in the comics, which is Rick's love interest, which some of us thought we might see that for Michonne. Luckily, we didn't, but that does mean that we're probably due for a pretty major character death pretty soon if they want to adapt it in the same kind of way. So basically, from where we're at right now, this volume stands to be mostly adapted, and we've seen the start of it at the end of The Walking Dead Season 10 here. We have one more episode left of Season 10 whenever it eventually airs, so we'll see most likely the rest of this in that episode, or at least in the next couple episodes, maybe the first few episodes of Season 11, maybe starting off with kind of a character death or something, or some additional add-ins. Then we've seen a little bit of this, but we'll have to see the rest of it. Now, it does also contain the part where... Maggie confronts Negan. Now, we kind of saw that already in the TV series version, so they sort of adapted that ahead of time, and it does look like we're going to get to see in the final episode Eugene and the others at least meet whoever they're going to see at the the Commonwealth. So part of this still needs to be adapted in The Walking Dead Season 11, but part of it already has. Same with this. So I feel like there's about, between the two of these, maybe half of these have been adapted. So that's one volume for Season 11 to be adapted. So that'll take us probably near the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 11. Now, this is where it gets interesting, is that after those volumes, we just have these 3 left, and The Walking Dead comics ended at that point. It was over. So they're actually pretty close right now. After they're done this one in the first part of Season 11, they'll probably adapt New World Order in Season 11 in its entirety, and they'll probably adapt The Rotten Core, which is after, in its entirety, which would leave near the end of Season 11 or the start of Season 12 for the last volume, which is Rest in Peace. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with Season 12, and if they add a lot of stuff in for Season 11, because they can't adapt part of this. Part of this is Rick being killed, unless they switch it for someone else like Aaron or somebody. Part of this is the ending with in the future, which they can't really go to unless they pass through that and then continue a story on afterwards. So is it true that the comics will take us all the way to the end of Season 12? Not unless they add in a lot more content. Unless they add like a lot. Like, you know how they did the Dante thing with Sadiq in the first half of Season 11? And then they did the cave and they did all this stuff. They'd have to do that to stretch it to the end of Season 12. Maybe they will. Fair enough. Maybe they will add in enough stuff so it gets there. But usually about 3 volumes per year is usually what we see. So we're marching towards the finish line. Like I said, one part here. So what does that contain for those of you who want to know what we're likely to see in Season 11 of The Walking Dead? Well, we'll probably see the rest of the battle in this Season 10 finale. We'll see the start of the stuff continuing with the princess meeting, probably just starting to meet the Commonwealth in that last episode, whenever that airs. And then we'll probably see an additional battle with Beta in the first half of Season 11. I will predict that I think Beta will survive Season 10 in this battle here, and we'll get 1 or 2 more battles with him in the first half of The Walking Dead Season 11. I think there's enough there to do it, and I think they will do it and probably add in some other stuff and make that good. And then after that, so predicting Beta will continue for a little bit in the first half of Season 11. Will likely be killed off by the end of the first half of Season 11. And then New World Order concurrently also being established at that time, which is just getting to know the Commonwealth, getting to know the main players, meeting the people of the Commonwealth and having them come to Alexandria, having them come to maybe the hilltop after it's rebuilt, having them come to the communities or wherever our group is going to actually live. If they're not living in Alexandria or they're not living in the hilltop, I would think they'll probably go back to Alexandria and kind of rebuild Alexandria. That seems to make the most sense to me. But basically meeting the people of the Commonwealth there in Season 11, and then the Rotten Core with the start to sort of what is the political kind of angle with regards to the Commonwealth and how they do things, which is different from how Daryl and the group do things in the TV series version. I tend to think that probably Daryl will take issue with the way that the Commonwealth treat people, in that they kind of have a class system, which is even more rigid, I would say, than what we have in real life. So you have like an upper class in the Commonwealth with a lot of the rich people and the useful people, and then you have kind of a push-down lower class. You don't have as many people in the middle, which causes civil unrest, which even we've seen a little bit of in real life recently with the quarantine and everything. Some shootings and stuff like that starting up now, which could be, I guess, expected in real life when you deal with this kind of situation. So, and then that takes us through to this one, which would likely be Season 12, and they'll have to stretch it out a lot to get this to last all the way to the end of Season 12. They'll have to add in a lot of content in order to do that. Maybe they will. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that makes sense for it. But, like, who would you adapt for the death of Rick or the death of Andrea from the comics? Like, who would be your victims for the TV series version for that? You don't have Carl, so I guess you use Judith maybe in the future. And maybe they do another time skip to, like, way in the future, and the series continues at that point or something. Maybe that makes sense. I'm not sure. We'll see. And then everybody's like really old or something. But I don't know. We just had a kind of a time skip recently with everyone kind of getting sort of old. Carol looks kind of old. The others look kind of old. So there's that already. So that's what pretty much we can come to expect for Season 11. First half part, some battles with Beta continuing, and then resolution, probably them killing Beta at some point in the first half. Getting to know the Commonwealth, having the Commonwealth come and know them rebuilding their communities after the Whisper War, and then kind of the onset or the start to getting to know the downside of the Commonwealth and what they do there with the whole New World Order system there that they have, and then basically the start to kind of some civil unrest and political kind of let's say strife. Is that a good word to use? Political drama, and some battles in and of the Commonwealth and where our group stands with respect to them, likely, and then seeing that in the Rotten Core continue. So, however, that will be adapted. So, good stuff, and again, hoping that in Season 12 and afterwards that Rest in Peace, which is this volume here, hoping that Rest in Peace It doesn't mark the end for the Walking Dead TV series in season 12 because that would leave us with only 2 years left of the Walking Dead. It would be over. So let's hope that Angela Kang and the others can come up with some really good stuff and and do some good stuff. There's some different angles they could do. They could do a time skip way in the future for Judith and the others, and then make them very old or something like that to continue onward with. They could do some crossovers with the crew from Fear or something, the movies, the CRM. We'll have to see what they decide to do with The Walking Dead. So that's what I think we'll see in The Walking Dead Season 11. Very excited to see the last episode of Season 10 whenever we do see it. And looking forward to seeing all these volumes adapted. And then very interested to see what they will do when they finish this and they are then to make their own kind of version of the TV series 100% without any Kirkman material to base it on to start with. Maybe they could ask him or use some of the storylines that he was thinking about doing but didn't. Maybe they could do some Elite of the Dead type of thing, something like even more so than New World Order, in the volumes here. I don't know. Leave your ideas below, guys, in your comments below. What do you think we'll see when they run out of content for the Walking Dead comics? Do you think it would be time to end the series at that point, or do you think that you trust in Kang and the others enough? I do, to think that they'd be able to come up with some good stuff to continue the story on afterwards. I think they could do it. I think they can. I think everything they've added in so far has been really good, and I'll be interested to see in the future, kind of what they can do with the series after they've completed the content. So that's it, guys. Basically, I'd say we have in total 4 volumes left to be adapted over the next couple years, and we'll see how it all goes. If you like this video, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and thumb it up, share, favorite, and subscribe to the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. It's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.